Rain poured steadily as Amara stepped out of the taxi, tired but happy. She had come home 2 days earlier than planned, hoping to surprise her fiancé Eli. After months of hard work and late nights, she had finally saved enough to buy him something special, a silver watch with his name engraved on the back. She smiled to herself, imagining his reaction. The house was quiet when she opened the door. Too quiet. The lights were dim, and the air smelled faintly of Eli's cologne. She placed her suitcase by the stairs, clutching the small gift box in her hand. Then she heard it, soft laughter from upstairs. A woman's laugh. Amara's tiredness vanished. She thought maybe Eli had invited someone over. Maybe her sister Tessa, who often visited when she was away. A warm smile crossed her face as she climbed the stairs, her heart light with excitement. But when she reached the bedroom door and pushed it open, her world stopped. Eli was there, with Tessa. The scene didn't feel real at first. Eli's shirt was half open. Tessa's hair was messy, her face pale when she saw Amara. Time froze. No one spoke. The small gift box slipped from Amara's hand and hit the floor, breaking open. The silver watch rolled across the hardwood, glinting under the dim light, the same light that caught the tears beginning to fill her eyes. Eli moved first. Amara, he started, his voice trembling. Tessa's lips parted, but no sound came out. She looked terrified, guilty, small. Amara didn't shout. She didn't cry. She just stood there, breathing slowly, her face empty of emotion. Then, without a word, she turned and walked away, down the stairs, out the front door, into the rain. The cold drops hit her face, mixing with silent tears she didn't even feel. She got into her car, gripping the steering wheel with shaking hands. Inside her chest, everything felt hollow, as if someone had reached in and taken all the air, all the warmth, all the trust she had ever known. In her mind, her own voice echoed faintly. They say betrayal burns like fire. But mine, it froze me, because it came from the two people I trusted most. She didn't start the engine. She just sat there, staring at the rain running down the windshield. The same way her life now felt, blurred, broken, and falling apart drop by drop. She always protected Tessa, even when their parents fought. When they were little, Amara would hold her sister's hand and whisper, "It's okay. I'm here." Their mother often said the same thing. "Amara, you're the strong one. Always look after your sister." And Amara did, always. As they grew up, life wasn't easy. Their father left when they were still teenagers, and their mother worked 2 jobs to keep the house running. Amara became more than a sister. She was a second parent to Tessa. She made sure Tessa had lunch for school, helped her with homework, and defended her whenever anyone tried to hurt her feelings. When Amara went to college, she worked part-time to pay for her own studies. But even then, she never stopped thinking about Tessa. Later, when Tessa got into university, Amara covered most of her tuition and rent. She didn't mind. Seeing her sister smile made every sacrifice worth it. "Don't worry about money," Amara used to tell her. "Just focus on your dreams." Tessa looked up to her. She used to say, "You're my role model." And Amara believed her. Years later, when Amara met Eli, she thought she had finally found peace. He was charming, polite, and full of ambition. He wasn't rich, but he had drive and dreams, just like her. They met at a charity event. She was helping organize it, and he was one of the speakers. At first, everything felt easy. Eli listened, supported her, and made her laugh after long, stressful days at the law firm. After 2 years of dating, he proposed to her on her birthday. Tessa was there that night, clapping and crying with joy. It felt like a perfect picture. A loving sister, a caring fiancé, and a future full of hope. Amara thought she had everything she needed. Her job was demanding. As a lawyer in training, she often stayed at the office late, finishing cases and writing reports. Eli complained sometimes, saying, "You're married to your job, Amara." She would laugh it off and promise to make more time for him. When she couldn't, Tessa often came over to keep him company. Amara was grateful at first. It made her feel less guilty, knowing her sister was around to help with dinner, or just to talk with him when she couldn't be there. But slowly, small things began to change. Sometimes when she entered the room, they'd stop laughing, too quickly. Eli would put his phone face down when she walked in. She once found Tessa's scarf on the couch after Tessa claimed she hadn't visited that week. Amara noticed, but she brushed the doubts away. She told herself she was overthinking. Their family, she said to herself. They'd never hurt me. But deep down something felt wrong. Now, sitting in her car after what she saw, those little memories returned like knives twisting in her chest. Every red flag, every ignored instinct, it all made sense. She stared out the window as rain hit the glass, her heart breaking all over again. How could her own sister do this? The girl she raised, protected, and loved like her own child? She replayed her mother's voice in her head. Amara, you're the strong one. She didn't feel strong anymore. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she sat in silence, clutching her coat tightly. She didn't want anyone to see her like this. Not her mother, not her co-workers, no one. In the distance, the city lights blurred through the rain. Her mind kept repeating one question, soft, trembling, and full of pain. How do you face betrayal when both your heart and your blood are guilty? She didn't have an answer. All she knew was that everything she had built, her love, her trust, her family, had fallen apart in one single moment. The next morning, Eli shows up at her office. Desperate, eyes red, clothes wrinkled. He waits by her door, holding a cup of coffee like he used to when things were good. Amara, please, he says the moment she walks in. Just give me 5 minutes. I need to explain. She doesn't look at him. Her voice is calm but cold. There's nothing left to explain, Eli. Leave. He blocks the door, panic in his eyes. It was a mistake. I swear, it just happened once. I was lonely. You were always working. Amara's hand trembles as she gathers her files. So you slept with my sister because I worked too hard? She asks quietly. Get out. A few co-workers look over from their desks. Eli's voice rises, desperate. Amara, please don't end it like this. I still love you. She glares at him, her voice sharp this time. You don't get to use that word anymore. Eli finally leaves, his face full of shame. But the damage is done. Her co-workers are whispering. By lunch, rumors have already started spreading. Someone says her fiancé cheated. Someone else says she caused a scene. Later that day, her boss calls her in. Amara, is everything all right? He asks carefully. I've heard some unsettling things. Personal matters can't interfere with your work. She nods stiffly, swallowing her pride. It won't happen again. But when she returns to her desk, she feels everyone's eyes on her. The office that once felt like her safe space now feels like a cage. That evening, her phone keeps buzzing. Texts from Tessa. Please, Amara, don't tell Mom. It was a mistake, I swear. I hate myself. Please answer me. Amara doesn't reply. She just stares at the screen, her hands shaking with anger and heartbreak. Then her mother calls. Amara. Her mother says, her voice worried. What's going on? I called Tessa and she sounded strange. Did you two fight? Amara closes her eyes, silent for a long moment. She doesn't want to say it. She wants to protect her mother, to protect the family's peace. But something inside her breaks. Mom, she whispers. Tessa and Eli, they betrayed me. The line goes quiet. Then her mother gasps. No, that can't be true. I wish it wasn't, Amara says softly. Her mother's voice cracks. My girls, how could she? Then her tone changes, cold, trembling with anger. She's no daughter of mine. Amara feels both relief and pain. She didn't want revenge. She just wanted the truth out. But now, their family is broken. Her mother refusing to speak to Tessa, and Tessa sending more messages, begging for forgiveness. Eli, meanwhile, doesn't stop calling. He sends flowers, long messages full of excuses. I made a mistake. I'm lost without you. It didn't mean anything. At first, his words make her cry. But over time, something inside her changes. She looks at the messages and no longer feels sadness. Only anger. Not the wild, screaming kind, but the deep, steady kind that comes when you realize someone has destroyed something pure. She deletes his messages one by one. That night, she stands before the mirror, her eyes red but steady. For the first time, she doesn't see a victim. She sees a woman who survived betrayal. A woman who deserves better. And for the first time since that awful night, Amara feels something new. Not grief, not fear, but strength slowly returning, piece by piece. Amara finds out Eli and Tessa are still seeing each other secretly, despite all his tears and apologies. A friend sends her a photo of them together at a restaurant. They're sitting close, laughing like nothing ever happened. For a few seconds, Amara just stares at the picture, her hands shaking. Then she feels her chest tighten, not with sadness this time, but with anger. So all his begging, all his mistakes, meant nothing. He hadn't changed. He never planned to. Later that night, she hears from another mutual friend that Eli and Tessa are planning to move in together. The words echo in her mind like thunder. Her heart breaks again, but this time, it doesn't fall apart. It hardens. She looks around her apartment, the one she once shared with Eli, and something inside her shifts. If love could destroy her, then strength would rebuild her. From that day, Amara throws herself into work. She arrives early, stays late, and pours all her pain into her legal cases. Her bosses notice. Her clients notice. Even her rivals notice. She's sharper now, colder, more confident. Every victory in court feels like a piece of her life coming back. But success doesn't heal everything. At home, her mother struggles. Family dinners are awkward and quiet. When someone mentions Tessa's name, her mother looks away, eyes full of hurt. "How could she do that to you?" she whispers once, her voice trembling. Amara doesn't answer. She doesn't have an answer. Meanwhile, Tessa's guilt begins to grow heavier. She stops going out, stops smiling. She loses her job after missing too many days, and her friends slowly disappear. Her messages to Amara become fewer, shorter, sadder. "I can't sleep. I'm sorry for everything. I don't expect you to forgive me." Amara reads them all but never replies. Each word feels like salt in an open wound. Eli, on the other hand, starts to show his true colors. The charm that once impressed everyone fades. He becomes impatient with Tessa, snapping at her over small things. He complains that she's too emotional and not like Amara. It hits Tessa then. He never loved her. She was just a distraction, a shadow of her sister. One evening, Amara's lawyer friend tells her that Eli is trying to claim part of her old house, the one she bought before they got engaged. He wants money, saying he helped maintain it. Amara doesn't hesitate. She files a motion for full ownership. When they meet in court, Eli tries to use his charm again. He smiles weakly, says, "Do we really have to do this?" Amara looks straight at him. "You made that choice," she replies simply. The judge rules in her favor. She walks out of the courtroom with her head high, the final string between them cut. Eli follows her outside, angry now. "You've changed," he spits. She turns to him, calm and firm. "No," she says. "I just stopped loving the wrong people." Days later, on a quiet afternoon, Amara goes to a small cafe near her office. She just wants a moment to breathe. As she waits for her coffee, someone says softly, "Amara?" It's Tessa. Her hair is messy, her eyes red and tired. She looks smaller somehow, like all the life has drained from her. For a moment, neither of them speaks. The air between them is heavy. Finally, Tessa whispers, "I wish I could undo it." Amara looks at her for a long time, her heart aching but steady. Her voice is quiet when she answers, "You already did. You undid us." Tessa's lips tremble. Tears fill her eyes. "I know," she says, her voice breaking. "I ruined everything." Amara nods slightly. "Yes," she says softly, "but I hope you learn from it." They sit there in silence, both of them crying, not shouting, not blaming, just crying. Because despite everything, they are still sisters. When Tessa finally leaves, Amara stays behind, staring at the half-empty coffee cup in front of her. She feels pain, but also peace. For the first time, she realizes that forgiveness doesn't always mean going back. Sometimes it just means letting go. Months later, Amara receives shocking news. Eli has been arrested for fraud at his new firm. He had been forging documents to steal money from clients. At first, she can't believe it, but when she reads the report, her heart stops. One of the forged signatures is hers, her name, her signature, used by the same man who already broke her once. The betrayal cuts deeper than before. He didn't just cheat on her. He used her reputation, her career, her hard work. She spent years building a name people could trust, and now it's being dragged through the mud because of him. The next morning, 2 police officers come to her office. Her co-workers stare as they walk in. "Miss Amara Daniels?" one officer asks. "We need to ask you a few questions about Mr. Eli Turner's case." She nods, her stomach twisting. They take her statement in front of everyone. Even though she's not under arrest, the embarrassment burns. She can feel eyes on her, whispers spreading again. Some people pity her. Others look suspicious, as if she might have helped him. That night, she sits alone at home, scrolling through the news. His face is everywhere. Law firm employee arrested for fraud, investigation expands. And right below it, her name is mentioned. Her phone rings non-stop. Reporters, colleagues, even old friends. She doesn't answer any of them. Then she gets a call from her mother. Amara. I saw the news. Are you okay? Amara sighs softly. He used my signature, Mom. My name. I have to clear it. Her mother's voice shakes. That man destroyed enough already. You make sure he never gets the chance again. The trial begins a few weeks later. The courtroom is packed with reporters, lawyers, and curious strangers. Amara sits in the witness section, dressed in black, calm but strong. Across the room sits Eli, in a prison uniform, his once charming face now hollow. When he sees her, he gives a small, sad smile. The kind he used to give when he wanted forgiveness. She doesn't return it. The judge calls her to testify. She walks up, her heels clicking on the cold floor. The air feels heavy. The lawyer asks, Miss Daniels, can you confirm that this is your signature? Amara looks at the paper. Her name perfectly copied, but she knows instantly, it's fake. No, she says firmly. That's not mine. He forged it. Eli looks down, avoiding her eyes. The lawyer continues. Did you give him permission to use your name or documents? Never, she says clearly. I would never risk my reputation or my client's trust for anyone. The judge nods, taking notes. The tension in the room is thick. Then, Eli's lawyer gives him permission to speak. Eli stands slowly, his voice low and shaky. Amara, you know I loved you. You know I'd never hurt you on purpose. I made mistakes, but you were my world. The room goes silent. Everyone watches Amara. She could cry. She could scream. But she does neither. She takes a slow breath and looks straight at him. You loved what I gave you, she says, her voice calm and strong. You loved the comfort, the name, the stability. But you never knew how to love me. The courtroom falls completely quiet. Even the judge looks moved. Eli's eyes fill with tears, but Amara doesn't look away. For the first time, she feels free. No anger, no fear, just truth. When the verdict is read, Eli is found guilty. The judge sentences him to several years in prison. He lowers his head, defeated. Tessa sits at the back of the courtroom, tears streaming down her face. She can't look at Amara. For months, she tried to believe Eli was a good man, that maybe he could change. But now, seeing the destruction he caused, she finally understands how wrong she was. After the hearing, Tessa walks up to Amara outside the courthouse. Her hands tremble as she speaks. I'm so sorry, she whispers, for everything. For believing him. For losing you. Amara looks at her for a moment. She doesn't say much, only, some lessons come with a price. Then she walks away, her steps steady, her shoulders straight. As she reaches the street, flashes from cameras light up around her. Reporters shout her name, but she doesn't stop. She just keeps walking, the noise fading behind her. For the first time in a long while, Amara feels strong again. Not because she won in court, but because she faced the man who tried to destroy her and stood her ground. Eli is gone now, just a name in the news. But Amara remains, her head held high, ready to rebuild what he tried to break. Months later, Amara moves into a new apartment. Simple, bright, and peaceful. The walls are white, the furniture clean and minimal. There are no old memories here, no ghosts from her past. Just quiet, soft light, and space to breathe. Every morning, she waters the small plant by her window and watches the city wake up. The noise of cars and people feels different now. Not loud or tiring, but alive. For the first time in a long time, life feels like hers again. She has also started something new. On weekends, Amara mentors young women in law school, especially those who have faced emotional struggles or personal pain. She teaches them not just about laws and cases, but about strength, boundaries, and self-respect. When one of her students confides, I feel like giving up, Amara smiles gently and says, I've been there. But you don't give up, you grow through it. The girls listen to her with hope in their eyes. She realizes that helping others heal is helping her heal too. Her relationship with her mother slowly begins to heal as well. At first, their conversations are short, sometimes awkward. But little by little, warmth returns. They start having dinner together again, sharing laughter over tea. Her mother once says softly, "I'm proud of you, Amara. You didn't let life break you." Amara smiles. "Maybe it tried," she says quietly, "but it didn't win." Meanwhile, Tessa's life has taken a hard turn. After everything that happened, Eli's arrest, the family fallout, the guilt, she falls into deep sadness. With her mother's help, she enters a rehab center for depression. Months pass before Amara hears from her again. Then one day a letter arrives. The handwriting is shaky but familiar. It's from Tessa. Amara sits by the window and opens it slowly. The letter is long and full of pain. Tessa writes about how sorry she is, how she wakes up every day wishing she could undo what she did. She says she doesn't expect forgiveness, only hopes that Amara is happy and at peace. "You were always the strong one," the letter says. "You gave me love even when I didn't deserve it. I will spend the rest of my life trying to be someone you could be proud of." By the time Amara finishes reading, her eyes are full of tears. She presses the letter against her chest, feeling both sorrow and relief. She doesn't write back, not because she's angry, but because she knows some things can't be fixed with words. Forgiveness will come in its own time. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday. She folds the letter carefully and walks to her closet. On the top shelf sits a small wooden box, the same one that once held Eli's engraved watch, the gift that shattered on the floor the night she found out the truth. Now she opens it and places the letter inside. She runs her fingers over the lid and closes it gently. It's no longer a box of heartbreak. It's a box of closure. A reminder that even the deepest pain can turn into peace. That night, as she sits by the window watching the city lights flicker in the distance, she whispers softly to herself, "Some betrayals don't end with forgiveness. They end with peace." And in that quiet moment, Amara finally feels free. One evening, Amara stands by the window, watching the rain fall softly against the glass. The sound reminds her of that painful night, the night she found out about Eli and Tessa. The same kind of rain had fallen then, cold and heavy. But tonight feels different. The rain no longer brings sadness. It feels calm, peaceful, like the world is washing itself clean. Amara wraps her arms around herself and smiles faintly. She's no longer the woman who cried on the floor, asking why. She's stronger now, quiet but steady, like the rain itself. Her phone rings. It's her mother. "Amara," her mother says gently. "Tessa's getting better. She's been doing well in therapy. She asked if, maybe one day you'd want to see her." Amara stays quiet for a moment, looking out at the city lights through the rain. Her heart feels both heavy and light at the same time. Finally, she answers softly, "One day. But not yet." There's no anger in her voice anymore, only peace. Her mother seems to hear it too. After the call, Amara stays by the window, staring at her reflection in the glass. She sees a woman who has been hurt, but not destroyed. Someone who lost everything once, love, trust, family, but found something deeper in return. Herself. She whispers, "I'm not who I was that night. And that's my victory." The rain begins to slow. She reaches out and gently closes the curtains. For the first time in a long while, the silence in the room feels warm, safe, complete. Amara takes a deep breath, turns off the lights, and walks away from the window, not toward the past, but toward her new beginning. Ibastis. Two Hearts, thank you so much for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional stories. See you in the next one. Sparkling Heart.